Hello, good morning. For this project, the shape design software will be used to create a mechanical support bus based on specific measurement characteristics as shown in the drawing. In this case, we will begin by opening the workspace and verifying that the units are set to millimeters in the workspace unit section. Since the units are already in millimeters, the configuration is accepted. To start creating the part, the create new sketch command is used on the top plane with the objective of building the base of the part. As shown in the drawing, the base has a length of 18 millimeters, a width of 80 millimeters, and thickness of 10 millimeters. Additionally, it includes rounded corners with a radius of 70 millimeters. To create it, the center point rectangle command is used, which allows drawing a rectangle from its center point. The rectangle is created from the center of the plane and extend outward. Then the dimension command is used to update the measurements previously observed in this drawing. To round the corners, the sketch fillet command is used, selecting each corner and assign a radius of 20 millimeters. Next, the extrude command is used to give value to the part, setting a thickness of 10 millimeters. After modeling, it can be observed that the base has been correctly carried. Next, the 4 holes shown in the drawing are created, which will be used to fasten the support bus to a surface. As shown in the drawing, the holes are positioned with a spacing of 55 by 55 millimeters, and each one has a diameter of 12 millimeters. To create them, the create new sketch command is used again on the top face. The center point circle command is used to draw a circle on the one corner. Then the dimension command is used to assign the diameter of 12 millimeters. The correctly position titled the center point rectangle command is used together with the construction option to create a reference guide. This rectangle is drawn from the center and aligned with the center of the first circle. Then the dimension command is used to update the spacing of 55 by 55 millimeters. Next, the center point circle command is used again to create the remaining holes at each reference point. Then the equal constants is used to ensure that our circles have the same diameter. Finally, the sketch is accepted and the holes are automatically generated. Next, a new sketch is created on the front plane using the create new sketch command with the object of creating the vertical cylinder that will function as a support for shafts or screws. The center point circle command is used to draw two concentric circles from the center of the plane. Then the dimension command is used to assign the internal diameter of 18 millimeters and the external diameter of 34 millimeters. Next, the extrude command is used to give a to the cylinder, obtaining a value of 40 millimeters as shown in the drawing. As shown in the drawing, the internal hole must pass completely through the part. To achieve this, the extrude command is used again, but this time the remove option is selected. The internal circle is selected, allowing the cut to go through the entire part. Next, the side reformers are created, which provide structural strength to the base. Shown in the drawing, these have a triangular shape, a thickness of 5 millimeters, a edge of 37 millimeters, and separation of 4 millimeters from the base. To create them, a new sketch is created on the front plane. The use project convert command is used to project the edges of the cylinder and the base as reference geometry. Then the line command is used to draw a triangular profile using this reference. At this point, the sketch might appear in blue, indicating that it is not fully defined. To solve this, the horizontal constraint is applied to stabilize the geometry. Once applied, the sketch becomes fully defined. Then the dimension command is used to assign the height of 37 millimeters and the separation of 4 millimeters. Next, the extrude command is used to give thickness to the reference. A thickness of 5 millimeters is applied. The symmetry option is active to maintain alignment with the central axis. To replace the remaining reforms, the circular pattern command is used. The feature pattern option is selected, the correct reinforcement is selected, and the central axis of the cylinder is used as the reference. As a result, 4 references are generated evenly around the part. Finally, the appearance of the part can be modified. To do this, a right-click is performed on the part to open the options menu. The appearance editing option is selected, allowing the color or material to be changed. The changes are accepted and the final part is visible. Additionally, the reference axes can be hidden by disabling their visibility. As a result, the final mechanical support base is obtained. Thank you very much for your attention.